Hey guys, this video should move pretty quickly because we're just going to talk about the cage here from KMTV for the A7R2. Now, I know the new A7S2 has just been announced, which looks like an amazing video camera, but the A7R2 should have a very similar body style, if not exactly the same. So this cage here is going to be relative for probably both the A7R2 as well as the new A7S2. Now, when Sony came out with the A7, they also came out with an A7R and an A7S. Now, all the bodies were the same. So if you got a cage for like an A7, the A7S would fit just as well. So now the A7R2 has been out, which has a beefier hand grip here, so they won't fit in your standard A7 cages. But looking at the new A7S, all the videos, all the photos, it looks like the exact same body style. So once again, this cage here is probably going to translate over to the new A7S2. So whichever one you decide to use for video, this cage is probably going to be one of the options out there. So anyways, we're just going to take a look at how everything fits. This was sent over again by KMTV. Now, in order to get this into the cage here, the first thing that you want to do is get your lens adapters or anything off, because it is a very snug fit here. So I'm going to take this apart, my Metabones adapter. Now, I've done this once. This is the cage here. In order to get it in here, there's a couple of things you want to do. You got these little strap tabs hanging on the side of your camera. You want those pointed up, and there's some notches up here. When you see the cage, you'll understand, but there's some notches up here for these little strap ears to kind of fit into. And then before you drop your camera into the cage, you also want to make sure your doors, your flaps for your HDMI and your audio inputs are open. So we're going to open those up, because once the body is in there, it is a very snug fit. You will not have room to open up any of these flaps. Okay, so once my doors are open, I'm going to slide this in. Again, I'm going to try and keep the tabs up on the side so it'll fit in. Very snug fit, but pretty simple to put on. Now, I have the base on here, but I need to slide this off the base. There's one little screw you guys will get that goes right underneath here. You're going to need a screwdriver to get in here. A coin won't work. So we'll tighten that up. All right, so there you go. We have the camera inside the cage. Very snug fit. You have your HDMI pinch here. Then you still have access to your audio ports over here, or headphone. And then you have articulation with your LCD on the back. You got room for your shoe up on top. Access to some of the dials from the back side here. Obviously, access to battery door and a lot of clearance here. So even if you're using an external battery pack with a dummy battery, you'll have some room over here. And once again, you put your adapter onto your camera. So this is the Metabones with the tripod adapter still on, and it clears perfectly fine. There is a little bit of a face here on the cage which will prevent the camera from twisting. So it's pushed up against the front. You still have access to your battery grip. Again, very snug here on the side, so it doesn't add very much width here on the side, so you can still grab it. I have small hands, but I could still grab this battery grip comfortably. So even with this cage on here, it just feels like the normal camera. Very lightweight, and it's just very snug. So it doesn't feel like a bulky cage system. So we'll put my adapter back on here. Now, you have a number of mounting options up here at the top. Obviously, you still have your shoe access and a putty cold shoe here off to the side. Lots of quarter 20 all along this cage. And then you'll get an option for the base here. Actually goes this way. And then you just tighten it up with one clamp. So the base will allow you to use a set of rails. So if you're using a follow focus, matte box, things like that, you can use rails here, or you could just use a cage without rails if that's all you want to do. Then the top handle right here. No tools required so far to assemble this stuff. So the top handle just comes in like this, a couple of screws down the front. and you're all set. Now they did add a 15mm clamp here that goes horizontally, which is perfect for mounting other items. So you can add, say for instance, a rail here, and then you just tighten this clamp here. It's also a, you can pull out the knob and reposition it. So it's spring loaded up here. So you have a 15mm bar here. They also give you these two little clamps. I like these clamps. These are little plates with a quarter accessory and a little padding here so you can mount something like a monitor or audio recorder or something. So they give you two of these. So I could have my camera built up, I could have a little monitor, put it here on the side, which would be perfect. And then these large prime lenses here fit nicely. So a lot of room on this cage. They do give you this little lens mount. Unfortunately, the lens mount doesn't line up properly with the Metabones adapter, which is a shame because it's a very, I feel it's a very popular adapter for these Sonys. So the tripod adapter here, it doesn't line up quite, yeah, it just doesn't line up. So it normally would go under here, and then you would screw this into the tripod adapter. It's just a little bit too forward. And then once you have that set in, you tighten up this clamp here to hold the support in place. Now, probably it's not designed for lens adapters. Maybe it's designed directly for lenses. So for instance, here on this Zine, they do come in a Sony FE mount native, so you don't need a lens adapter. I chose Canon because I'm using it on other cameras as well, but if you got a Sony FE mount type cinema lens, this adapter here could screw on directly to the lens, and then that would be the lens support mounted to the cage system. So most likely it's designed for that and maybe not lens adapters. So unfortunately this little piece here doesn't line up with the Metabones for Canon, so it's not going to be usable for me here. But still, if you're just using the, looking for a good cage system for the A7R2 or the possibly, haven't seen it yet, but the A7S2, most likely it's going to have the exact same body style, form and fit. This is one option for the cages that are going to be available out there. Again, this is from CameTV. I'll have all the links below this video and on my website, cheesycam.com.